You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
You want answers? Well, so does he. I'm going to finish up here and throw the baton back to David Knight, and then I'll be live in studio this Sunday, Lord willing, 4 to 6 p.m. Central, and back all next week in studio. But I tell you, we've built an amazing team of crew and researchers and hosts up there, and so I thank God every moment for everybody. Here is the final equation. Here's the bottom of the rabbit hole. There's a war on for your soul, a war on for your consciousness, a war on for your mind, a war to artificially direct your brain to direct your spirit instead of the other way around. They are assuming a technological takeover, a technocracy, and they've rolled out the Trojan horse of technology that's neutral, and they've left it pretty much alone to get us all addicted. This is in their own words. And now that we're on the line, they're about to plant the hook. The worm's in our mouth. The hook has not gone through our mouth yet, but they are about to pull back on that rod, and they are about to plant that hook.
Did we lose Alex? I think we just lost him. Yeah. Well, Alex is going to come back to us, and I had something that we saw on one of these videos talking about the car companies asserting ownership over everything that you have. This is a comment from someone called, that went with MPG 827 on YouTube. He said, my friend had a BMW, and he had to put in a battery, so he did it himself. I mean, I don't even consider that working on your own car. He said it went dead after a day. He called the BMW dealership. They took a look at him. You got Alex back? Okay, go ahead, Alex. I'll finish the story later.
No. Sorry, David. I'm going to get off right now. It's just people need to understand something. We're under attack by mainstream media, by government, by White House-run Media Matters, by, no exaggeration, probably 10 major newspapers a day, a magazine a week, nightly news shows once a week, everything from Nightline to The Daily Show, because we're over the target. And I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about this mission failing. Folks, the reason we're under attack is we know what we're talking about, and the online trolls and all of it, because they're scared to death. Let's cut Alex Jones out of the equation, or David Knight, or Jakari Jackson, or Darren McBreen, or Leanne McAdoo, or any of our great crew. All of this is happening. What are you going to do about it? The globalists are coming in to micromanage and destroy your free will. They're openly saying they're going to, as I told people again 15 years ago, start taxing you by the mile, claiming that you're not a safe driver, and then finally machines will have to do everything for us. They're building a world where humans won't be needed, not where we empower humanity, not where we build a world for humanity, but where we say machines are better day one, let them control everything, let the calculators do the math, let the cars do the driving, and we'll all just watch football. That's what Bill Joy, 16 years ago in Wired Magazine, wrote about. The decision has been made to give us bread in the circus. He says this at a meeting with 200 top globalists. The decision has been made. Listen to me, folks. To entertain you to death, get you anesthetized, dumbed down, drugged out, and sterilize you so humans just phase out and the elite merge with machines. Now, again, you're living in a science fiction movie. What are you going to do about it? The reason you feel empty is because you bought into the world system. I'm talking to new listeners. You bought into the idea that you can only be empowered by going deeper into the system. The system will not empower you. Resisting the system, building a real system based on human liberty and freedom and the golden rule is the only way. I'm going to throw it back to David Knight, and as I said, I'll be back live this Sunday. Great job, crew.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, I want to continue with this story because this is an amazing comment I saw on YouTube. Again, this guy reported that he had a friend with a BMW, had to replace the battery. He put it in himself. After a day, it went off. So he called the dealer, and they said, you've got an aftermarket battery. They said it's unregistered. So what they did was they wirelessly, over Wi-Fi, they registered his battery and charged him $150. More than it would have cost him to probably buy a battery from them. You don't have freedom. You don't own anything. Just as GM said, We can't conflate ownership of a vehicle with ownership of the underlying computer software. They're going to do it by copyright. They're going to assert they own everything. Stay with us. We're going to be right back with Paul Joseph Watson.
There's no doubt that our country is in serious trouble right now. And if you're wondering how on earth we ever got in this situation, well, I'll tell you how. When the Democrats showed their true colors, you got angry and you elected Republicans. And then when the Republicans showed their true colors, you got angry and elected Democrats. And when anyone suggested to you that both parties were corrupt and that neither side were looking out for your best interest, you acted like they were crazy. But the real definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's why it is vitally important that you wake up, America, and break the matrix. Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.tv, and The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
Ladies and gentlemen, InfoWarsLife.com is offering some of the biggest specials we've ever had. 50% off the super high-quality colloidal silver bullet. Silver Bullet from InfoWarsLife.com is free of GMOs, gluten, additives, heavily concentrated in pure deionized water, electrically stabilized to improve potency, can store in your preparedness pack or medicine cabinet for years. Silver Bullet colloidal silver, 30 parts per million, now $14.95, down from $29.95. You cannot beat this deal. 50% off on Silver Bullet colloidal silver and free shipping. Now you know that's going to anger the control freaks. We've also launched the Alex Jones Challenge Pack, the 3 InfoWars Life products that help take me to the next level. Oxy Powder to flush out the upper and lower intestines, Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2, and Super Mel Vitality fused together have given me and many others amazing results. Discover the groundbreaking, powerfully simple products at InfoWarsLife.com.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, your host today. We just heard from Alex Jones, the last segment, explaining to us where this is all going with these black boxes. You know, I look at this, and quite frankly, I think that's a very good metaphor for what our government has become. In engineering terms, we always used to talk about black boxes as this closed system where you couldn't see how it worked. It might have a function, but you could not look at the internal parts of it. That's what our government has become. It's become this closed system that we can't examine. And I think these black boxes are now becoming, as we've got in our cars, they're like the black boxes you saw on airplanes, where basically they would record and track everything the pilots did. That's another aspect of our government. So not only can you not see into it, but it records and tracks everything that you do. And that's what they're doing on your cars so that it can track and tax you. I think that's what we ought to call them. Instead of a black box, we ought to call them track and tax. That's the true function of these things. Let's start getting honest with this. I think language means something. We're going to go to Paul Joseph Watson. Just before we do, though, I want to let you know that we've got a special at InfoWarsLife.com this month. You can get 2 bottles of Survival Shield X2, that's our nascent iodine, and you can get 1 bottle of Fluoride Shield for free. Now, we know that fluoride lowers IQ. We've seen that in tests. We know that many countries like Germany, Netherlands, Switzerland, they're removing fluoride from the water. 80% of the cities in the U.S., however, are fluoridated. and we cannot get them to listen to us. So one of the things you can do is try to filter it out of your water. You can also, when you're at home, but you can also use Fluoride Shield for those times when you're away from home. You're going to get it in things that you drink. If you drink anything that's bottled, you're probably going to get fluoride because it is so pervasive in the United States. So for this month only, you can get a free bottle of Fluoride Shield when you purchase 2 Survival Shield X2 bottles. Again, that's at InfoWarsLife.com, and we have 50% off of Silver Bullet, $15 savings per bottle. Let's go to Paul Joseph Watson in the UK. Paul, you've got a story up about the Southern Poverty Law Center attacking Oath Keepers, attacking us, attacking Gary Franchi's operation, Next News. These are a bunch of lawyers. You'd think that maybe they would appreciate that people should have their day in court, that there should be a due process, that there is a chain of title on these mines, and yet they don't. They simply move this into their rhetoric of hate, trying to divide us, trying to demonize people who want to have those things, who want to have due process, who want to have property rights. Your comments, Paul?
Well, the SPLC, as we've documented for years, is basically this for-profit group which poses as a civil rights organization while peddling hate in the name of stopping hate. So they came out with this really quite amateurish article yesterday about the Sugar Pine mine dispute in Oregon, with the headline, "Oath Keepers descend upon Oregon with dreams of armed confrontation over mining dispute." And what's amazing, just as a kickoff, is the content of the article disproves the headline in the first 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, exactly.
In the 3rd paragraph, they quote Oath Keepers, who put out a statement last week which said, quote, "This is not a standoff with the BLM. We are not promoting any confrontation with BLM. This is a security operation for the protection of constitutional rights." So in the 3rd paragraph, Oath Keepers say they're not promoting armed confrontation, yet the headline of this piece by the SPLC says they're, quote, "dreaming of armed confrontation." Then again, later on in the article, they quote Joseph Rice, the security coordinator for Josephine County chapter of the Oath Keepers, who stated, quote, "If you're on a fringe element and if you're here to protest or provoke a reaction with the federal government, I don't want you here." Let me repeat that. If you're here to protest and to provoke a reaction with the federal government, I do not need you. So they actually quote the Oath Keepers on 2 separate occasions saying they're not there to promote or to provoke violence, yet simultaneously demonizing the Oath Keepers and saying that they're trying to provoke violence. So I mean,
yeah, that's what they do with the headline.
It barely even needs me to write an article in response. They discredit and disprove their own premise within their own article.
Well, they basically, just if you look at about the first 5 or 6 words of the article, what began as a paper dispute. If you look at that interview that I had with a spokesperson from the Galice Mining District, and they put that in their article. But, of course, I think people just look at these headlines. They don't read the SPLC articles. They don't watch the videos that are embedded there. They just comment at the bottom from based on their comments. I don't think that they read the article or they watched the video. It did not begin as a paper dispute. And, of course, we go through that in the video. But let's talk about how the SPLC began. You know, this is a guy, Morris Dees, who set out the civil rights movement of the 1960s, except for the fact that he was in it at the very beginning. He worked for George Wallace, and he also got involved in a particular case where the KKK beat protesters, burned their bus. He defended the Ku Klux Klan, and he made enough money off of that as equivalent to what the median family income was at that time. And then he set out the entire civil rights movement, and he didn't get involved again until the 1970s when he came back into politics with George McGovern. In the meantime, he and his partner were out making millions of dollars, as many people on the left have criticized them. And you can see that picture now if you're looking at that. Yeah, that guy on the bottom that's being kicked, that was not the person he's representing. He's representing that guy right there doing the kicking, the white supremacist, the KKK guy. Those were the guys that he defended. And then he got back involved in politics after making millions in direct mail marketing. He got involved with the McGovern campaign. and got a mailing list of 700,000 people and then came back in as a champion of civil liberties.